Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in our previous video we learned about the collaboration group and we created this dummy group in our Salesforce environment. Okay, so now we would be taking this discussion ahead and we would be learning about your feed and feed items. So basically in this group detail page you could see this feed element, okay, feed and engagement. So by default when you are on your group detail pages in your community, it would be visible in here. So like for example, when you go over to your community, you would search for group detail, okay, so this page would appear and let it load. Okay, so like this page would appear and see, this is the entire group, that is the standard component that you would be getting on your group detail pages. Okay, so there are specific type of elements that are limited to only these type of pages. What am I saying is, like this group, okay, you are able to see this group in your group detail page, right? Now if I navigate back to my home page and if I search for group, so let us see what are the results. Did it give me any results? No, it didn't give me any results. Why? Because this is a specific component built for group only. Yes. Why? Because in our group there exists a set of record ID. See, if we go to the URL of this page or the standard formation of this page, see, this is the group name, this is the record ID and the record name. So basically whenever it would be having a group ID, it would be navigating to this page, right? So that's why this component is in here. Same goes with your feed component as well. Okay, so that is only for certain pages only. So let's learn about that a bit later. So in our group component, that one, this, so these are some options like post, poll and question. Okay, so let us do something. Hello, testing feed items, and I'm writing a topic test, okay, and to community group, and I am writing share. Okay, and so hello testing feed item, right? So I created this this thing. So this is a feed and the entry in this feed is called a feed item. Okay, so now let's get to some basic definitions before diving into the concepts. Okay, so basically guys, what is a feed? As we talked about, the feed in Salesforce, this allows us to post, comment and ask questions, upload files, share links and mention other users. Okay, users can also receive notifications when some comment appears on a post or mentions them. Okay, so in the navigation bar there is a bell icon, if you haven't noticed before. So whenever anyone mentions or whenever anyone replies on your feed item, a particular notification is sent. Okay, so this is your feed. Now moving further is your feed item. So basically it is a piece of content that is shared on a social media like platform where users can post, comment, question and get other information from the feed. Okay, basically if we talk about Salesforce, our feed items are associated with records such as account, opportunity, cases like an account is closed, an opportunity is closed, yeah, the opportunity has crossed its due date, and things of that sort are referred to as feed item. Like in our example we wrote this is test, so that this was a feed item. Okay, so moving further, like don't get confused, like we are taking an example of our Experience Cloud for now. This feed is also available for our standard objects like accounts, contacts, opportunities, cases and other objects as well. And how do you do that is by enabling the feed tracking on that particular object record, though that is a thing of later discussion or in some other video. As we are specifically talking about Experience Cloud, we should deep dive in those concepts only. Okay, so moving further is some points to remember. Basically what are these points, is like you can delete all the feed items that you have created. Okay, and to delete the feed items that you haven't created, you are required a certain set of permissions. What are that? Is a modify all data and modify all data on the feed items parent object. For example, I am having the view all and modify all object permission on account, so I could access and delete all the associated feed items for an account. Okay, and another important thing is that to moderate chatter node. So this you would be getting in your system permissions, so you could enable them and you could also delete other feed items, though generally it is not considered as a best practice or companies don't follow to delete. But yeah, in some scenarios, if anyone has written a wrong post or something of that sort, so in those cases we can go with this step, but generally this is a bit of avoided because there are other things like moderation rules and other things that can allow us to view and monitor all those things over your feed items. Okay, moving further is your feed item fields. Now we talked about what is feed items, how records are created in your feed items. So now let us discuss about the feed item fields. First identifier is the ID, that is unique, and every object we get ID. Body, this field contains the context of the feed item. Okay, and the created date and created by ID is the person who created that. The type field specifies what is the type of this feed item. So when we were in that group detail page, in the standard group component we could see three things: post, poll and question. Okay, so our type defines these three things. The type of feed item, either it is a post, either it is a comment, or it is a poll. Okay, and the parent ID, it is the ID of the record that the feed item is associated with. Now a point to be remembered or a point to be noted is, if I'm talking of the community sense, so feed item generally is having two parents. First is the collaboration group to whom it is associated with, or second is the user. Okay, in the Salesforce documentation you might be able to see others as well, but when you try on the real grounds, feed item, there is also a thing called parent ID as topic, but not, it is Salesforce does not associated your feed items with your topics as parents. Okay, so for example, my topic is ABC, and if I am creating a feed item and I want to link it with my topic, so I cannot do it in standard way, though it would not throw you an error, but instead of adding the feed item to the topic, it assigns it to the user. Okay, so why it is such is because we can create we can delete topics, but we cannot delete a user, we can deactivate a user. So that's why it is a sort of thing that I guess Salesforce does, because I tried it on my own as well, so I didn't find a way to set the parent ID of feed item as topic. So that's what from my side that I got through. So if you are having some other set of things in your mind as well, so do let me know in your comments. So moving further, this is the related record ID. So this field contains the ID of the record that the feed item is related to: account, contact, opportunity and things of that sort. Okay, the title, that is we can add the title. The field contains the URL of a link included in the feed item. So this is the link URL field. The content ID and the content file name contains the ID of the file that is attached to it, and visibility specifies such as whether it is visible to all users or a specific set of users in a group. Is deleted, and the comment count. So now we would be seeing all these things in our practical approach just after this. So the like count and comment count is the number of likes that we got on a particular feed item, and the comment count is how many people commented on your post. Okay, and the most important thing is the network scope. As we are talking about the Experience Cloud sites, network scope defines that in which Experience Cloud that feed item is a part of, and this network scope contains two values. This is the network ID and all networks. So the network ID is particularly a ID of a specific Experience Cloud site. You could get this network ID from querying the site standard object, or you could get from the network query. You could query the network as well. And all network specifies that this feed item is available in all Experience Cloud sites. Okay, so this was the all the theory behind your feed items. Now let's start with some practical implementation as well. I hope you got an understanding and overview of how feed items works.